Hello and welcome to Apex Academy. In this video, I will be explaining how to brood chicks in the poultry business. What is brooding in poultry? Brooding is the maximum attention and care given to chicks from a day old to about 4 to 5 weeks of age. This is the most delicate period of a chicken's life and also the most tedious and care-demanding aspect of poultry production. Any mismanagement during the first 4 weeks of a chick's life can ruin the farm anytime. So having adequate knowledge of brooding is very paramount in poultry production. You will agree with me that most farmers do not brood, rather, they prefer to buy point-of-lay or grow-out broiler or cockerel. However, brooding is very cost-effective and help reduces the cost of production provided you have the right knowledge of how to go about it. Though it's very tedious and risky, but with proper management, you can always hedge against any mishap. Pre-brooding management. Preparation for brooding starts about 2 weeks before the arrival of the day-old chicks. During this period, all the necessary accessories are in place, and installations of relevant brooder components are done. The brooding pen, if need be, must be renovated, it must be disinfected and cleaned. All crevices and holes therein must be blocked. The brooding pen must be covered to ensure the birds are in good condition. At about 2 to 3 days before the arrival of the chicks, the heat source has to be installed and operated. However, in the case of the improvised source of heat, the charcoal pot, it must be set about 24 hours before the arrival of the chicks. This is very crucial because the chicks need warmth to keep them fit. Fill the floor with dry and friable litter materials like wood shavings and groundnut husk. This absorbs moisture and their waste. The brooding pen must be dry always to prevent the outbreak of diseases. Day-old chicks management. Upon the arrival of your chicks, they should be dislodged from their pack and introduced into the brooding pen. They should be served water and glucose solution. This gives strength and agility to the chicks. Feeding should commence immediately. Feeding should be done ad libitum, that is, feeds must be made available all the time. At their tender age, they are very voracious and eat a lot. However, do not panic, it is normal and very helpful. Observe weak and unthrifty birds, and separate them from the healthy ones, to enhance feed efficiency and utilization. Serve fresh clean water with vitamin supplements in it to boost their immune system. During the first week, supply them feed in a tray or use newspaper. After a week, raise the feeders and drinkers to their chest level. This reduces contamination and wastage of feed and water. How much space do chickens need? Well, this is a very important question as the answer will aid the success of the brooding operation. Overcrowding results in stunted growth and rapid spread of diseases. In short, the chicks need enough space to increase their growth rate, and a spacing of 55 to 70 square centimeters per chick is needed. However, this has to be increased every 3 to 4 weeks till when they are caged. For example, a brooding pen of about 450 square centimeters has to be increased by 50 square centimeters every 3 to 4 weeks. Ventilation and heat management of day-old chicks. Proper ventilation is very important in brooding, it can make or mar the business. Day-old chicks need heat to survive, therefore, adequate heat has to be supplied to ensure their well-being. The behavioral response of the birds to heat supplied is the best way to determine if the heat supplied is enough or not. This is why the farm manager has to be more vigilant and observant. When the heat is too much, you will see the chick move away from the heat source, pant, and are drowsy, but when the heat is not adequate, the birds cuddle and cluster together near the heat source to generate more heat within themselves. However, if the heat is adequate, you will see the birds dispersed evenly and move freely in the brooding pen. During the first 10 days of the operation, the temperature of brooding must be around 35 degrees Celsius. The temperature should be reduced every week, increasing by the height of the brooder lamp till the chicks are about 4–5 weeks of age, when the temperature is around 21 degrees Celsius. The brooding pen has to be fully covered to ensure adequate warmth, but as the birds grow feathers, the inflow of air to the brooding pen has to be increased. As soon as the bird grows enough feathers, the covering should be removed totally. Also, the heat source has to be uninstalled or dispatched as soon as the birds grow enough feathers. Day-old chicks vaccination program. Vaccination is the deliberate administration of a biologically prepared antigenic compound called a vaccine to birds to improve their immune system and increase their resistance to a particular disease. Vaccination of chicks during brooding is very essential, and success of the entire brooding process depends hugely on it. Feeding of day-old chicks. Do not put them on a routine feeding program, rather feed them ad libitum. Ensure they eat always and serve them fresh water. Water is very important in poultry. Ensure water is always available at all times, even when feed is not available. The feeders or drinkers should be placed in the brooder or brooding pen such that they point toward the heat source to aid the birds to have access to warmth. The size of the feed is always cogent. The feed particle size must be very small to enhance palatability and aid digestion. Quality feed has to be provided. Avoid deteriorated or caked feed, it might be detrimental to the chick's health. Chicks' disease management. It's possible not to experience an outbreak of disease during the brooding period. Diseases, at times, are not factors to be considered in animal production because they are secondary. The greatest factor is the day-old chicks management. Following strict and necessary precautions can make you have a disease-free brooding experience. Mortality is normal, but it must not be above 5%, that's abnormal. Medication expenses increase the cost of production, thereby reducing the profit of the venture, but with proper management and strict adherence to precautions, you can scale through this fence. The following are the precautions you should take note of and work with all the time to avoid disease outbreaks. Proper hygiene is very key to the success of this venture. Ensure all the equipment and materials used are cleaned and possibly sterilized, especially your farm outfit, your boot, and coat. This is because chicks are very vulnerable to little infection. You have to ensure that you are cleaned and disinfected before going to the brooding pen. Also, the feed and water you serve must be very clean and safe from contaminants. The litter material in your brooding pen, either wood shaving or groundnut husk, must be dry at all times. Your brooding own must be dry at all times. Apply new litter material in any wet areas. Change the litter materials at least every 10 to 14 days to prevent ammonia build-up in your pen because they can cause disease outbreaks. Do not allow anybody to step into your farm, especially your brooding unit. Predators can be of any size or animal. Birds, ants, termites, snakes, etc. are threats to poultry farms. Ensure you chase them away as possible. With this guide, I'm sure you can brood chicks to the rearing stage with a mortality rate below 5%, thus having a cost-effective brooding operation. Hope this was helpful. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel for more useful contents. Thanks for watching.